So I must be a prophet or something. I haven't put the video out, and that's only because I got busy doing some other stuff. But there was actually a moment earlier today where I spent quite a bit of time maxing out my Isao, because if you know, I've said for a while, like, I've never seen him do like a big hit, and some of that's just because I never finished fully maxing him out. So I did finish that, and that is a video that'll be coming probably tomorrow. I have more videos to upload. But anyway, so I thought that was hilarious, and I say I'm a prophet because today they announced another game original, and it's young Isao. Oh my god. He looks so silly without the mustache. No, it's not like this is the first time we've seen him, right? We've seen young Isao in the series before. But I'm just so used to like that, you know, mustache look and stuff like that on him. So he always looks funny. But in all seriousness, this is actually super cool. Like this is super cool. Isao is such a fun character that we don't see enough of. Frankly, we don't see enough of a lot of characters because it's just a very short story. But he's a cool character, at least I'd say. I don't want to say fun because he's the definition of not fun, but cool character. Very stoic, right? And we know that there is a history there with him leading the First Division, right? So that's really cool. I'm excited to see that. So I wonder if this is just a flashback. I'd assume that's what this is, not like an alternate story. They do tell us about this. But key note on this is that Isao is actually releasing after the next maintenance in a couple of days. So that's another very important thing here. Now, another couple of really quick things here. We're going to get into this a little bit deeper, but I want to show you this. I haven't completed it, but I want to show you this. I have been largely I've been tracking this month. I haven't completed it, like I said. Let me take this out of full screen. But in terms of resources this month, because I know that's going to be the first thing people say. And by the way, how many of you guys actually did pull for Ashiro? But in terms of resources, we've got the Unipart. So you can't really see this. I'm not really so sure how to zoom in so much. I know I can make it bigger, but I'll lay it out for you. The Unipart first clear stage, not very much. I mean, that's like 50. Identified Kaiju first clear, the event for Identified Kaiju, it's like, again, another 50. The shop refresh. The shop refresh was important because there's several shops that had tickets. And so you were able to get the game tickets and the pickup tickets. So that is important because you were able, again, to turn those into more pulls. The story chapter had 1,500 gems in it. The chapter event, that's the event where you play the 3 stages. And in the chapter event, you know, you have those resources there. I haven't gone through and calculated that yet because I've been so busy with my move. But that is another event that has resources in it. Again, it has those 3 different difficulties. You try to hit that damage score. Limited Fierce Battle came out at the start of this update, and it had 1,500 gems in it. Character Trials, where you get to test out the characters. Kaiju No had one too, so 100 gems total. Not very much, but it's a thing. Character Story. I have to go through and calculate how much is in there, but that's where you go through and play the Mina Ashiro stage. And or the Character Story and get that wallpaper. There's some resources there too. The London Fierce Battle came out. This had 3,000 gems in it. 3,000, okay? And then the maintenance for a day and a half had another multi in it. So cumulatively, multiple things happen here. Firstly, this is a lot of events for a span of like a week and some change. So if you're going to tell me there's nothing to do, that was a lot of stuff to release in a week and some change, firstly. Secondly, this is a good amount of summons, right? Like, I think that's a good amount of summons. Now, these are just the pure numbers, but again, there are tickets. There's also the login tickets, which I don't have listed here, which is what? Another 10 tickets for the login bonus as the 7 days pass. So that is a good amount of resources. Now, especially if you skipped Ashiro, because I know that a lot of people said that. Now, the thing with this is that also this will be releasing alongside another event. Special event lets you experience game original character stories through quests. Ahead of the event, Isao Shinomiya is in his younger days will be added on November 11th. This is kind of funny because if you remember when we go back to the roadmap, I looked at it and I was like, yeah, there's no character listed here. The only spot I can really see them doing it, unless they did it and they're doing it here, which, by the way, in this update that's happening with that release of Isao, they didn't show him here. They were going to add another large conquest the same day, right? There's another large conquest coming that same day. Player rank up, going up, whatever. Reinforcement login bonus for some more gems and some stamina. And then 2x training rewards for Kaiju Might. And then 2 days later, there's a raid battle. They tried really hard to cook this month. I can't even be mad. Like, if you're saying they've got no content, this is all stuff that's released in the span of, we're on the 8th, dude. Half of this stuff's already out. Like, they're trying really hard. I've got to say. Now, it's not anything crazy new or anything like that. It's just reruns and stuff like that of pre-existing events. But ultimately, that's a standard gacha formula, right? Think Dokkan Battle. How often do we see new stages in just the various types of content, right? I was going to say Dokkan Fest or like Fierce Battles, but you get my point. Fierce Battle, that's not what that's called. Legendary Goku event, whatever. It's been a long time since I cared about the names of events. Anyway, so this has been quite a lot. But I said, hey, I don't see where a character's coming unless it's here on the 20th. So what they're doing here is Isao was coming out a week prior, or actually a week and some change, like a week and a half prior, instead of on the 20th, which is interesting because that means that we go almost 2 weeks. They've got this weird week and some change formula going on. Almost 2 weeks, not quite the 2 weeks in between character releases for Ashuro and for him. So he'll be the 11th. So again, a few days shy. But they're also not going to have a character come out at the end of the month, coming on the heels of a almost 3 week hiatus. Because that was another problem that I was like, I don't want this. It's not the worst, but if they go 3 weeks without a character and then they drop 2 consecutively, that's problematic. That's what they did with Narumi. Narumi came out around the 20th or 21st, and then he's out for a week and some change, and then Ashuro drops and is like, dude, do them every couple weeks, or have the content. This time I believe they've had the content. However, I also believe that you can't please a lot of people, so it is what it is. So anyway, he is going to be releasing ahead of the event. So that's where that's also tricky. And then, as always, they're going to have a login bonus with him. They're going to, again, there's a large conquest that'll be showing. But that's where it's also tricky because what they're doing there, and this is why, the login bonus takes a week, things like that, is it's to induce FOMO. It's to make you try to pull before you have all the resources available to you to pull even more, right? To get you to spend money, right? And again, very standard gacha practice. But I think this is interesting. This looks like a new style of event. Where the hell was this at for Sagan, for Chester, for Kikaru? Because Kikaru is technically a game original character. Where were these at? I guess maybe if you don't want to put Kikaru in that bunch because it says game character stories, or original character stories, fine, right? But I also think this is the right direction for the record. Like I mentioned earlier, this series is very short. So when it comes to publishing a game for this series, especially a live service game, gotcha, well, you have to do stuff like this. You've got to expand the lore. You've got to add original characters. You've got to add original stories and expand the lore and jump on the low-hanging fruit like an Isao story that we haven't seen, that we don't know, right? Maybe you can do some stuff that extends past the conclusion. I don't know if the author has any plans for a sequel or anything like that, but if he doesn't, or they don't, I don't know if it's a male or not, but if they don't have the plans for that, then maybe you can do something like that, you know? But either way, I think they set themselves, they had a really good idea when they were drafting the ideas for this game to make the dimensional stuff, because it gives them a lot of wiggle room, because they can bring in stuff like that number 2 Kikaru and stuff like that. Now, speaking of Kikaru, I know a lot of people are still waiting for number 4. They just gotta say, if she had won that vote, she would have came out in the Narumi time slot. I have no clue when that's coming out, but it is cool. So again, to reiterate, Isao will be releasing as a playable character on the 11th. Post maintenance, his gacha will be up. I'm kind of I mean, they say as a playable character here. I'm assuming this is a gacha, and I was gonna say I'm kind of waiting for this game to add like actual like farmable characters and weapons. They had a weapon when Chester came out, like a 4-star rifle, I believe, that was tied into one of those events or whatever. Oh, actually, the chapter event, actually. So they may have another one in there. But I'm waiting for a legitimate free farm character. They give us that. They give us some stuff for free when you start the game, like Hoshino, who's great. They give you a free farm, I guess, technically, of Kafka and his weapon. By the way, if you sell that Kafka weapon, somebody told me they did that, you're screwed. You'll never get it. Well, I can't say you never, but there's no way currently to get another one because it's not a part of the gacha, that handgun. Anyway, so we have this coming out. I'm pretty excited about it. So let me know in the comments what you think. I'm curious if he's got to be a festival. It's got to be a festival because we haven't seen a festival since Chester and Kikaru, and that lasted for a few weeks. But really, it's been over a month. So we'll see. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for more content from me, of course, as I am finally done moving. Now, the hard part begins with unpacking, but in the meantime, I can get back to work.